Kind of like, what the fuck, man? Like, pardon my language, but WT to the F.
What
Not
the
gonna lie,
what?
I'm kind of speechless. Kind of frustrated. Kind of like, what the fuck, man? Like, pardon my language, but WT to the F is going on with the Phoenix Suns. They are now 4-6. They lose tonight at home to the Oklahoma City Thunder by a final score of 111-99. Couldn't even get to 100 points. Why? Well, because the Suns once again shit the bed in the fourth quarter, scoring 13 points, going 2 of 21 from the field, and while they had a lead entering the fourth, they leave with another loss. Welcome to Suns basketball. Welcome to the Suns Jam Session podcast, a therapy session of sorts after we sit and we wonder what the hell is going on with the Phoenix Suns. Matthew's at the game. He might pop in, but I have the honor, the pleasure, dare I say, of welcoming from the Aussie Suns Fans podcast. Give it up for Gavin. How's it going, man? How you feeling?
I'm extremely frustrated. I think that's the only way, or the best way to describe what happened today. It was a very, very frustrating day.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting podcast as we try to go through the highs, the lows, the positives, the negatives, knowing that we're going to end up talking primarily about the negatives and the trends that we're seeing, because we're 10 games into the season now, and you do have a small sample size, but it is a sample size of trends that are occurring within the Phoenix Suns and things that need to be corrected and things that haven't been corrected, even though they've been identified, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. It's the problem is that it's, I guess, the most frustrating thing. And you know me, John, I'm pretty positive. I always look at, let's wait 15, 20 games. That's when you really find out who your team is. We are without Book. We have been without Beal. But the issues are the same every single game, and that is where the concern lies right now.
I completely agree. So we'll get into that. We'll get into all the fun stuff that the Suns Jam Session brings. Reminder, subscribe, rate, and review wherever you're consuming this content. Remember, I didn't lose the game. Shit. I showed up for the fourth quarter. I was there the entire time. I probably could have made one of those shots. Hell. But make sure that you give us a thumbs up if you're watching this content. And Gavin, tell them where they can watch you guys.
Yeah, Aussie Suns Fans, obviously, on YouTube, and follow us there on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. I tend to refuse to call it that, but even though I just did. Yeah, come and check us out. We had our pod last night and had a heck of a lot of fun, and it's a little bit different layout to everybody else's pods, but I think if you come in and watch it, you'll enjoy it.
I will say that my favorite thing about the Aussie Suns Fan podcast is it's just like this safe haven of place to go and talk about the Suns, where you can just throw your takes out there, whether they're good, whether they're bad, dare I say if they're indifferent. You can just go there and you can have a good time. And you have some great gimmicks that you will, or segments that you have on the show that I absolutely love. And there's going to be a lot of flogging tonight, I feel like, having to deal with the Phoenix Suns and kind of Frank Vogel and the way that they are coaching in that fourth quarter. But we'll get to all that. Make sure, if you have something to drink, that you're popping it open. I'm just going to go with a Diet Dr. Pepper this time. I'm not even going to – I should be boozing. But I typically find that when my heart hurts and I'm frustrated and or depressed, I don't turn to the booze. I turn to the Diet Dr. Pepper. So pop them if you got them, Suns fans. And let's talk about this loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder. 4-6 are the Phoenix Suns now as they lose again. This homestand has turned into a homestand of a losing streak, which brings me to my first question.
Oi, Matty. Mate, I've got to ask.
Gavin, I gotta ask, what the fuck is going on in the fourth quarters, man? Come on, Dr. Gavin, what is your diagnosis?
Before I do answer that, I'm very disappointed that you ruined your show by using Boyd's voice as a voiceover for this piece. You couldn't have ruined it any more for me, could you?
Hey, Boyd's got, like, surprisingly, okay, he might be a carny at times, but he's got, like, a really good voice for voiceovers. I highly recommend that you guys use it. If you get him to say something nice.
He's certainly got an Aussie voice, let's be honest. He's got that covered off really, really well. But last quarters, I guess for me, the challenge is, what I'm seeing is it's the same movie every last quarter. We're following the definition of insanity at the moment. We're doing the same things and expecting a different result, and there's just no change up to what we do in the last quarter when it gets tight. We go into ISO ball, and it doesn't matter. It could be any of those players in an ISO ball. We stop running plays. We stop moving. We stop moving the ball. All we end up doing is ISO with a really contested shot off doubles, and again, it's just the same movie.
Yeah, it's a complete lack of adjustment. I feel like there was a little bit of an adjustment in this game because you had Kevin Durant at the front end of the fourth quarter to kind of change things up, because what we've seen prior to this game is a team that is just discombobulated, has no true playmaker, and that's where the point guard conversation always comes in, and or the fact that we're missing Devin Booker. But prior to this game, we were 30th in points at 22.8. That's going to go down because we only scored 13 in this one. We were 29th in assists with 4.7, 30th in turnovers, 28th in field goal percentage. That's going to go down. We shot 2 of 21 from the field in this. 27th in three-point percentage, 28th in free throws, 29th in point differential, 30th in offensive rating, 13th in defensive rating. The statistics entering this fourth quarter, and I tweeted out during the game, I'm like, listen, all we got to do is like score points in the fourth quarter, and we got this. Rebound and score points. I know it sounds dumb. And it's like you said, it's like watching, it's not even watching the same movie, Gav. It's watching the same bad movie. Like the first Mad Max, just over and over and over again. You're like, from a cinematography standpoint, this is just a bad movie. And there's no adjustment to it. As you mentioned, we're seeing a lot of isolation basketball where if KD's out there with Bradley Beal, it's your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. Because the people that are out there on the court, you have Okogie, you have Nurkic, you have guys who are out there because you want to have some semblance of rebounding in Nurkic and hustle and defense in Okogie, but they can't shoot and they're not moving. So if you even try to, I mean, we saw it in the last game, we saw it again in this one, where it's like, when KD has the ball, they can throw doubles at him because Okogie's not going to do anything, and nobody's going to do anything. And I don't know what the fix is. I'll ask you this. Is the fix as easy as just having Devin Booker back?
Yeah, I think it is. Because that changes it. It changes it from a your turn, my turn. And the big thing is that if you've got Book, KD, and Beal all on the floor in that setting, where there's a little bit more trust. At the moment, they can almost go, okay, all five just defend KD and Beal. We don't have to worry about the other three because then that's just not going to matter. And we've seen KBD again in the corner. If you throw Book into that mix, they can't do that. Somebody's still going to have to get ISO'd one-on-one. And we know that Devin Booker, I don't know what it is, and I don't know whether you see this, but Devin Booker's ability to rise above a defender and take that shot is so much smoother than than Beal and KD. Mm-hmm. They seem to be more fall away type under pressure shots, where Book just does that vertical leap above a defender's hands, and it just looks smooth. It looks like a shot that's going to go in. And if he gets a bit of momentum in early in last quarters in particular, that's going to start to open up Book and keep saying that. It's going to start to open up KD and Beal for those shots as well. So, is it going to be the total fix? No, I don't think it'll be the total fix, but it's going to be a significant change to the way we play basketball in last quarters. And we've already seen that when Book has been playing in those last quarters.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's the full fix. Because, again, obviously the front end of this season, the first 30 games of this season is purely a team that's going to try to develop chemistry. And we all know how important chemistry is because that's what got this team to the NBA Finals a couple seasons ago. We see what a team like the Clippers has, where they don't have chemistry. They can't win a game. The Suns don't have chemistry. We can't win a game. And you bring Devin Booker in there, and yes, you have somebody who can score, who has the confidence to score, has the, as you've noted, just a different type of way to score and put pressure on the opposition. But I'm still worried that because of that lack of chemistry, it might not be successful. And go for it.
We still have time to develop that chemistry over the course of the year, which is great. But obviously we've got to have them all on the floor. But it's not just, and I've seen somebody say if Book comes back, the other two still have to do their job. If we look at the game, let's go back to the Warriors game for an example. Book wasn't only able to hit those shots, but he was able to set up players out. So Nurk was dangerous as heck, at the end of that game, because Book knew when to hit him and put it in a position where it's dangerous, where these guys don't, and Nurk is standing flat-footed.
Yeah, and everyone's standing in the corner, just again, no ball movement, no off-ball movement, just literally standing and watching KD, who ends up going 1 of 7 from the floor. Bradley Beal goes 1 of 5. I mean, we went 2 of 21. Those 2 shots were made by KD and Beal, but they combined were 2 of 12. So, I mean, it's just their inability to take shots or make shots. It comes from the fact that the difficulty of the shots is increased because nobody is penetrating, popping. Everything just stops. And it's the craziest thing because that's what makes this team good through the first 3 quarters. We've seen it in multiple games where you're sitting there and you're watching. You're like, this is a fun team to watch. They move the ball. They're hitting. They're good. They're inside. They're outside. They're cutting. And everything just stops in the fourth. And again, the frustrating thing and the reason why I'm down and I'm sad and I'm like, even Booker coming back can't fix it at this point is because I'm just seeing the same shitty movie over and over again. And I'm frustrated that Frank Vogel hasn't really addressed it. It feels like, again, Frank Vogel's known as a defensive coach. He's relying on Fizdale and Kevin Young to perhaps add some semblance of offense in that fourth quarter. But the defense ain't been great either, man. 31 points to the Oklahoma City Thunder in the fourth quarter is not great defense either. So these offensive schemes, these defensive schemes, nothing. It's like you're plugging in a USB into a computer and it's still just loading. And we're like, come on, load already. Like I need this offense and defense needs to start. And I get it, and I can understand if you think that this is early in the season and there's plenty of time, because you're right. I mean, 10 games in, there's still 72 games to play. So there's still a long time. But that doesn't mean that we should be denied the frustration that we're feeling in this moment, because that's my reality. That's my truth, Gavin.
No,
I sound like such a millennial.
I don't disagree with that at all. Every Suns fan has the right to feel pretty frustrated at the moment with the way that it's all coming together. And like you said, it's not just offense. This big defensive scheme, well, I've seen some significant defensive breakdowns that we haven't seen since pre-bubble, where the entire team shifts and leaves the key open, and somebody just strolls in and gets an easy card. That shouldn't be happening.
Or vice versa. Everybody converges on the key, and we're leaving shooters wide open like we did in the LA game and again tonight a couple times, where it's just like, SGA is going to come down the middle. Let's all converge. He dishes it out. And now it's like they're getting free shots from beyond the arc, and, Chet Holmgren's hitting threes.
Yeah, absolutely. And we didn't close out well. We didn't have coverage. And look, it's got to be frustrating for Suns fans, because it's frustrating for us, right? We said it at the top of the show. We're both frustrated. While I think there's ways that we can fix it, that's still no excuse for the performance today.
So obviously, if you hang out on the Twitter, you'll see that everybody has their version of what a solution should be. It's fire Vogel. We're already hearing that. It's, trade for a point guard. We're already hearing that. What do you think the solution should be, and what do you think will actually occur?
I still think that the team's going to be willing to sit back and wait to see how this plays out leading up to or including the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. I still can't see how we panic too much. Again, it's 10 games. And I still do believe that the best distributor, and I know that all the talk was about Beal playing point guard, but the best point guard we have on the roster right now is Devin Booker. And it's going to look completely different when Devin Booker's out there controlling the ball. So I still feel like, and if you watch his warm-up videos and everything like that over the last couple of games, I think he plays against Minnie with a 3-day. We've got a 3-day break before that game. And that's going to be our first time with all of those three guys on the floor. Well, I didn't see KD or Beal get hurt today, so let's knock
seriously.
on wood. Let's knock on wood and hope Book returns against Minnesota, and we finally get to see how that plays out.
Yeah, the solution is obviously bring back Devin Booker. In the long term, I mean, that's the short-term solution because there's not a lot of things you can do until I believe we're like a month out from December 15th when you can start to explore potentially trading some contracts if need be. I think that the trade deadline will be very interesting for the Suns and where we are at that time because, yes, if we need a point guard, if that's truly what this issue is, and I've seen people say that it's the fact that we don't have a point guard. I think that is a contributing factor. Again, it's somebody who we're used to that floor general. We've had Chris Paul for the past 3 years. The year before that, we had Ricky Rubio. So for nearly half a decade, we have had a floor general who can navigate an offense in the fourth quarter. And this year, our best playmaker has only played 2 games. It's kind of crazy to think that Bradley Beal's actually played more games than Devin Booker, by the way. But our best playmaker / floor general has been out for the majority of the games. He's been out for 8. And we don't know yet until we see this team in its totality if that is literally what just the key to the fourth quarter is. Like Devin Booker's in there, we don't go 2 of 21 from the field, and we beat teams. Or if it is like, hey, we need a legit point guard come trade deadline due to the fact that we have assets like Nurkic, which I don't think we'd go that far, but like a Grayson Allen, like a Nasir Little. I mean, those are contracts that are definitely movable, and you can get something back in return. And if anybody has watched the Phoenix Suns since February, since Matt Ishbia showed up in town, know that he's not afraid to empower James Jones to make those decisions and turn this roster to where it needs to be. As frustrated as we both are, I think we can both agree the fire Vogel or trade somebody as fast as you can, or just it's too soon for that because one, you don't do that to Vogel, and 2, we literally can't yet.
Yeah, and look, I hear the point guard argument. We spoke about this on our pod again last night as well. Now, the big one I've seen multiple times is a Nasir Little trade for and a pick maybe for TJ McConnell or whatever. But the biggest narrative at the moment is screaming, we need a point guard, we need a point guard. That's great, but are we going to, with a Nasir Little trade with a pick, are we going to get a point guard that's going to start in this team? No, we're not. The only thing we're getting is a backup point guard.
Yes.
Now, Jordan Goodwin hasn't been great this year, but he was good today in that backup point guard role. What are we bringing in that's better than Jordan Goodwin as a backup point guard? Because the starting guards, Beal, Book, Durant, no matter what people want to scream, and I see in the chat people are saying Beal's overrated and blah, blah. I'm sorry, but that's not going to change. Those 3 guys are not going to change. And Bradley Beal has not played a heck of a lot of basketball. He's starting to get some continuity. And I thought today you could see that the guy was now starting to find his shot. And you bring Book back in as well.
That's good. That's good.
Do I think that Bradley Beal should be handling the ball and being our playmaker? Hell no. I still don't think he's that good in that role. I never did. But we sure as hell have a guy who is.
Yeah, he's our 2 guard. When everything's set and everything's right, Bradley Beal is a pure 2 guard. And he isn't playing in that capacity right now because of Booker's injury. And Jordan Goodwin, he's been playing very well, or he's been playing sporadically, but he had a good night tonight.
I bet he got off.
Like every member of the Suns until the fourth quarter, and that's just kind of again and Andy Johnson said it on the broadcast, and he goes, at least this is an issue where it's just the fourth and it's not the entire game. And I know that that's some silver lining shit, but it is true. where if this is a team that comes out and just is getting beat, like, do you remember last year, the biggest challenge that the Suns had is they'd get boat raced in the first quarter, and they spent the entire game trying to fight back, and that's where a lot of our frustrations lied. A team that ended up going, 45 and 37, the reason that happened is because they would come out unprepared. So I'm happy that they are not that version, because that's just, at least for this, we're getting 3 quarters of happiness and then 1 quarter of pissed off versus 1 quarter of what the fuck just happened. And then we're the whole game, we're just we're spending too much energy trying to get back, man.
And that was the thing. I reckon last year we had, most of those losses probably even, we would have had in double figures first quarters that were less than 15 points.
Yeah.
And getting blown away.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, taking a look at some of the performances tonight, because if you didn't watch the game, that's what we're here to do. Let's start off with Mr. Beal.
She said, "You're not the only one, but you're the best, Bradley." Bo, bo.
I know I soon will have all of these drops with, for those who watch the show, with Phoenix Suns highlights. Okay, it takes time. I have to scour the internet. I don't have the same time I did over the summer to make all these things, but I will. But Bradley Beal tonight did end up playing a total of 30 minutes in his 3rd game back from the back injury. Didn't make a 3-pointer. He was 0 of 5 from beyond the arc. He had 15 points. He had 8 rebounds, 5 of 6, 6 of 18 from the field. What were your thoughts on Bradley Beal and how he performed tonight, Gav?
Look, like everybody else on the Suns, I thought for 3 quarters he was really, really good. He filled his role. He controlled the ball. Defensively, he's probably got a little bit of a gap that he needs to fill, and I just think he's filling that out. But he looked dangerous. I think a lot of what he did on offense was, he, as I said before, I really think he was starting to find his shot. He looked at tonight more than any other game. He looked comfortable in a Suns uniform, not trying to force his way through it. But again, in the last quarter, he fell down like everybody else did.
Yeah, I agree with you on him finding his shot. You're starting to see, at least from my perspective, the first couple games of Bradley Beal, he would attack the interior because he's trying to get comfortable in that capacity, and he would just shoot threes. In this game, he was doing some of the mid-range stuff. He was doing the floaters. He was willing to attack and still take the threes. Obviously, he wasn't hitting everything, but he started look a little bit more fluid in the game and fluid within the offense. Again, minus the 4th quarter, right? That's going to be literally minus the 4th quarter is what we'll say with every person that we talk about tonight. But I liked what I saw from Bradley Beal, and I'm excited to have him on the team. I really am, despite a bad shooting night percentage-wise. When you go 6 of 18 from the field, 33% of your shots are going in. It's not a great shooting night. But it's the type of shots and where he's getting to on the floor and the pressure and the gravity that he brings, because that's what opens up the rest of his teammates. He got to the free throw line a few times. He did miss some free throws as well because
he did.
It's the rust factor with him, and we're starting to see a little bit more of him get into the flow of the game. The challenge with Bradley Beal is the turnover.
Damn,
5 turnovers tonight. And much akin to just the Suns overall. This is a team that if they can hold on to the ball, they'd be so much better. I mean, they had 17 turnovers, which led to 18 points tonight. And the Thunder only had 9 turnovers, which only led to 5 Suns points. Bradley Beal was a major culprit when it came to turnovers tonight, because both he and Kevin Durant throughout the season, not so much in this game, but throughout the season, because they are being asked to handle the ball so much, and all those double teams are being thrown at them, and every defender shading their way, and everybody is swatting at the ball, they're having a hard time with it. Couple that with the fact that there's just no chemistry or fluidity on offense in its totality, and this is kind of the result that you get. I can't wait till we have a game where we're like the Thunder and we only turn the ball over 9 times. Fuck, man.
I think we're all waiting for that at the moment because, as you said, since game 1, our ball protection's just been horrible. And I think the more frustrating thing is the turnovers are just so woefully bad, some of them.
Yes.
They're not because the defense is right up in someone's face. We are passing a base. We're trying to pass a base. putting no pace on the ball and effectively lobbing it up for somebody to cut it off and take it over, or just passing directly over someone's head out of court. It's
as they're dribbling, just like losing their handle
off the foot. Yeah,
yeah, like numerous times we saw that, and Beal did that. Both Beal and Durant been doing that a lot this season, where it's just like, whoa, man, like, did somebody turn the handles like way down on the 2K sliders, because they're not looking great right now, you know? So there's pros and cons to take from this from Bradley Beal, and again, I go back to the fact that this is really his third game back, and this opponent with Lou Dort, with Jalen Williams, you know, with SGA, this is a team that isn't going to beat you up on the interior, obviously. This is a team that makes their living on having really good guards and pesky defending guards. And they put the pressure on both Beal and Kevin Durant throughout this game. And I thought that Bradley Beal, given the fact that it's his third game back, handled it as well as he could. Again, outside of the fourth quarter.
Outside of the fourth quarter. By the way, you did touch on turnovers too. Hey, I know that everyone on the Suns roster does watch Suns Jam. Who doesn't?
I know, right?
Big guys, Drew, Yusuf, when you do get the ball in the post and you're looking to turn and pass to a cutter on baseline, put the ball above your head.
Yeah, don't hold it by your dick. Like, it's not a good strategy.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't. You're not playing dick in the ball. You know, step one, cut a hole in the ball. Step two, put your dick in the ball. Step three, open the ball. Like you're 100% right though. I think that's a good transition into Yusuf Nurkic.
Nurkic watch.
Nurkic tonight, 26 minutes, only 1 of 6 from the field, 3 points, 8 rebounds, assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers. 0 of 3 from beyond the arc. You know, I talk about it kind of with regularity. You get some good Nurkic games, you get some bad ones. I thought this would be a good one for him because of his size and because Chet Holmgren, although he's long, he doesn't have a lot of girth to him. And
he didn't
Nurkic
even back him down, bro.
Kind of out of control in this one. He is
not once
very problematic as a post player. Both you and I, Gav, we're dealing with some trauma. Okay, we just came off of 5 years of DeAndre Ayton. Okay, and when we go to our therapist and we talk about basketball, we talk about what a center is, and we talk about their ability to operate in the post. We know that DeAndre Ayton, that's not where he was advantageous either. He would fade away. He'd fade, away from the defender. He would throw weird hook shots. He would do anything he could not to be a post player. Nurkic tries to post people up. He backs down, and then he just throws up wild shit. Like, when you see Drew Eubanks come in, you're like, oh, shit, that's what a technically sound post player should look like. But Nurkic in the post, not good. Nurkic shooting threes, not good. Nurkic rebounding the ball and then trying to go back up with it, but bringing the ball down next to his dick and letting people try to swat at it, not good. That's my observations of tonight. What did you see, Gav?
No, that's a pretty good description. Pretty apt, I would have thought. Look, I think we saw it against Wemby, and it was backed up against Chet tonight. Drew Eubanks is a much better matchup for these type of guys.
Yeah.
Now, Nurk, I would have liked to have seen Nurk on offense be a little bit more aggressive in that matchup. I mean, you've got the size, and there was a couple of times, I think Chet got him a couple of times on blocks. He had to just bump in, and he didn't do it. He was trying a little bit of finesse, but is the center position, and this was one of the questions that came up with the game for me, is the center position another one like the fifth starter position, where we should be looking at what the matchup is?
Oh my God, did it too early.
Out of Eubanks and Nurkic, because I think these smaller, more slender type centers that spread the floor a little bit, potentially not post bangers. It seems like Eubanks is a much better matchup on both ends of the floor against those guys, because Eubanks really took Chet to the cleaners on offense as well a number of times. Are they a better matchup? Should we be starting Eubanks against centers like these two, and starting Nurkic against your Jokic and your Embiid, and they are centers that suit Nurkic?
Yeah,
in a matchup.
slower centers for sure. It's a valid question.
Big Crank Eubanks.
Crank that soul, now what? You crank that soul, now what? You crank that soul, now what? You crank that soul, now what?
Drew Eubanks has created this, and this is a good thing. The fact that Drew Eubanks, as you mentioned, when we play guys who are a little bit more slender, a little bit more athletic, okay, the Eubanks potentially, based on the way that he's played thus far this season, is kind of playing himself into a position where it's like maybe he's, maybe just for ego purposes, you have Nurkic start, but Eubanks gets the majority of the minutes. Nurk had 26 in this one. Eubanks had 21. Okay, Nurk, like I said, 1 of 6 from the field, 3 points. Eubanks, 7 of 9 from the field, 15 points. He had 4 dunks in this game. He's playing himself into a position to where it's like, listen, the majority of the minutes are going to have to go to this guy, and then when the backup comes in, whoever's backing up Wemby or whoever's backing up Chet Holmgren, those are the guys in which you have to kind of do the substitution patterns to mirror. It's a valid question. Sounds like a great piece to write for Bright Side of the Sun now that I think about it. I'll write this one in the morning. Because it's like, it's not wrong. It's not a wrong observation. You're paying one $16 million, the other one's a veteran minimum. I get that. But at the same time, like, one's effective in certain roles against certain players, and the other isn't. Eubanks possesses a quickness that Nurkic physically can't match.
He just
Eubanks,
doesn't have it.
He can't. He can't have it. And that's why, again, pre the DA trade, I think we were all very excited because you were going to have Eubanks backing up DA. And that buffer behind him would have been the best 5 behind him. And now you have Nurkic, who, as we've all noted, is a far less superior athlete than DeAndre Ayton was. DeAndre Ayton leaving, he was the best player in that trade. We got parts, and those parts are good short-term and long-term because you got a Grayson Allen out of it. And, again, you got contracts out of it that you could utilize perhaps at the trade deadline, as we mentioned before, in trading for a piece that could help the team. But Drew Eubanks, he looked absolutely fantastic tonight.
I think he's, and again, we had this discussion last night, and I've been really, really impressed with Eubanks coming off the bench, particularly in matchups like this that just suit. And we may look. Vogel's known as a defensive coach. Maybe he needs to look at that because it's again. It was both ends of the floor tonight for Eubanks against Chet. Chet was his least effective when Eubanks was on the floor. There was a substitution late, I think it was in the last quarter, where Chet was on 8 points, he had 3 rebounds. He wasn't having a great game. Mm-hmm. And in about a 4-minute stretch, he hit a couple of threes, got a couple of buckets inside. Nurk, I think he blocked Nurk, might have got a steal off him. And then we had to bring Eubanks in to finish off the game.
Isn't that sad? I mean, and again, that goes to good coaching on the Thunder side to recognize, like, oh, shit, there's the pigeon. There's Nurkic, and we know that that's going to happen. We know he's going to have good games. We know he's going to have games in which he's serviceable. And then we know he's going to have games like this where, again, his final stat line is 3 points and 8 rebounds and 1 assist. That's not fit. That's like just hanging on for dear life and hoping you can win the game. So, I don't know. It's another thing that we're going to have to kind of observe and report throughout this during this season. Another thing to take a look at during this season, obviously, is the whole Josh Okogie thing.
Hey, Joe, where you going with that?
Josh Okogie got the start tonight because Eric Gordon and Devin Booker were both out with injury. He ends up scoring 8 points, Gavin. All of them from the free throw line. 8 of 8 from the free throw line. He was 0 of 3 from the field, 0 of 2 from beyond the arc. Had 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 1 turnover. Has Josh Okogie come back down to earth?
Yeah, I got in trouble for this last night on our podcast because I said yes. I love Josh Okogie's hustle. I made myself the self-proclaimed president of the Josh Okogie Appreciation Society.
That's right.
Which I had to relinquish last night after I said that he was a liability on the floor and shouldn't be getting minutes at the moment. And I truly believe that when an opposition side is saying, leave that guy all by himself on the three-point line because he can't shoot, and then he proceeds to shoot and brick three-pointer after three-pointer. The thing I did love about Okogie tonight was he didn't settle for the three-pointer, and he did attack the basket, and it did get him to the line 8 times.
Yes.
If he's on the floor, that's the role he has to play. He can't sit out there. If Josh Okogie's shooting 6 to 8 three-pointers a game for us, we're in trouble. If he's shooting 3, I'm okay with that.
I think what's happened, especially for us as Suns fans, is you got to go back to last year, right? So the very beginning of last year, he didn't really play much, right? I mean, the first
a little bit
20
before
games
KD
of the
came.
season, 6.2 minutes played, right? You know, didn't really play a bunch, and then the injuries started happening to the Suns, and Okogie got some playing time, and to his credit, he maximized it. This is a guy who came over from Minnesota, was shooting 29.1% in 4 seasons with the Timberwolves. And through 44 games, the last 44 games of the season last year, which he started 25 of them, he averaged 9.7 points. He shot 36.7% from beyond the arc. And we're like, oh, shit. This is great. It's a player who possesses defensive acuity, who's also serviceable from beyond the arc. He was like a true 3-and-D guy. He was like a Jafar finding Aladdin in the streets of Agrabah, right? He was a diamond in the rough. And then in the playoffs, he plummeted, and so far this season, he's plummeted even further. Offensively, is he somebody who I recommend that the Suns roster? Absolutely, because he brings a fuck shit up guy mentality, and you always need that. But unfortunately, due to his physical limitations, coupled with the fact that he is a 0 on offense, a fat 0 on offense, he's playing himself out of the rotation, in my opinion. He's somebody who should come, again, looking back, he played about 20 minutes a game, all that for 4 years in Minnesota. That's kind of where we need him to go back to, because he isn't a guy who should be playing anything more than that, because of the sheer fact that
fouls.
he's a pigeon on offense, not on defense. Yep. And even on defense tonight, he really wasn't shutting SGA down very much. So, I mean, I agree with you. I like the fact that he was attacking the cylinder this time and not settling for the three-point shot, but I'm worried that he was attacking instead of shooting the three-point shot, because it shows his pure lack of confidence, which is justified. And with all of that said, and you take a look at Keita Bates-Diop, who doesn't turn the ball over, who kind of makes the right plays, makes winning plays, we're kind of in this conundrum right now in which J.O. is probably going to see less playing time, should he see less playing time.
Yeah, look, I think he should, and it's games like the game that Jordan Goodwin had today. And now, look, I will say on our pod last night, I called Jordan Goodwin Josh Okogie from Aldi. So I think that's for you guys over there. It'd be Josh Okogie from Wish. But offensively, Jordan Goodwin had an impact, and I know that Jo had his 8 points from the line, but if we're not slowing down the opposition's best ball handler or best scorer with Okogie on defense, and don't get me wrong, I still think Josh Okogie is the best defender we have, but if we're not slowing down an SGA by having Jo on the floor, why is he on the floor? Why aren't we playing Yuta, who can hit the three and spread the floor? Why aren't we playing, and I know, I'm not going to say Nasir Little because he's no good.
Chimezie Metu.
Chimezie Metu. No. Why aren't we playing a Yuta? And when Booker comes back, it's going to be an Eric Gordon, or it's going to be a Grayson Allen. Now, these guys are much better options in that role than what Josh Okogie is. And that's just where the cut and dry is going to come down to. And I think Okogie and Goodwin will both struggle for minutes when that happens.
I agree. And I think that that's okay. It creates competition, and hopefully it's one of those things in which it can spark something back up in Okogie like we saw last year. But unfortunately, the track record says that Okogie needs playing time to be effective. He needs to have time on the floor, because when he didn't have time on the floor, he wasn't that effective. He was shooting. I mean, the beginning of the season last year, for the first 20 games, he was shooting like 7% from beyond the arc. What Okogie's doing right now, we've seen it before. And the playing time dipped because of it, and then obviously injuries would open up the door for him, and he capitalized on it. We'll see in time. We will see in time.
Yeah.
You did mention Jordan Goodwin.
Where's my dog?
Jordan Dogwin.
Oh, there's my dog.
Like everybody else, outside of the fourth quarter, Jordan Goodwin, really, really good game in this one. He was 4 of 10 from the field, 3 of 7 from beyond the arc. He had 11 points coming off the bench, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, a block. He was all over the place. And again, it's just that's it's a frustrating thing for me when you have a game in which you get 15 off the bench from Eubanks, you get 11 off the bench from Goodwin, and you fucking lose. Like, you hate wasting those games, because you look at the bench for the Thunder, and they ended up scoring a total of 3, 6, 8 total points, and they still beat us by like 12. It's crap, man. And Goodwin, again, the challenge I've had with Goodwin thus far is he too is not a true point guard. He's not a great facilitator. He's somebody who plays hard defense. He can shoot the 3 ball a little bit, and he can initiate some offense, but not a bunch. So again, here we kind of are stuck and running in circles talking about the point guard position. But is Jordan Goodwin, how involved do you see him moving forward? Because he's a guy who's making winning plays right now.
As I said about Okogie, I just can't see how those two pick up a heck of a lot of minutes. If Eric Gordon and Devin Booker are in this game, they're taking the minutes of those two players.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, that's 29 minutes for Goodwin. Okogie ended up playing 21. Yeah, that's easily consumed by Gordon and Booker. So, this is kind of where the Suns are at, is just kind of hanging out in this purgatory.
We're in the waiting, where it's like when you're on an aircraft and they put you in a loop until you're allowed to land.
Yes.
We're in that loop waiting for the full health. Okay, land the aircraft. Now we can go.
Yeah, and we just want to land. We just want to get to our destination. And another thing that Frank Vogel said in the post-game press conference, I'm reading on Twitter as we kind of navigate this, is he said Bradley Beal tweaked his back in the first half and battled through it in the second half. So we got, like you said, we got some days off before we play the Minnesota Timberwolves, a team that's playing very, very well right now, a team that has Anthony Edwards, who's an absolute dog on both ends of the floor, a team that has Rudy Gobert, who's playing defensive player of the year type level right now. And we don't the plane just keeps circling, man. Like, will Booker be back? Will Beal be playing? Booker will be playing, and Beal will be playing. There's Kevin Durant. Like, dude, can I ever play in a big 3 where we all fucking play? Like,
for real.
What the actual fuck, man?
Yeah, and it's certainly, and I've seen some of the guys in the chat, I think Justin brought it up first, the fact that, Beal they said in the press conference, Beal had hurt his back, and I thought, oh, no, here we go again. It was probably my fault for mentioning it earlier that I didn't say either of them hurt themselves.
We can blame you, I guess. So
yeah, put it on.
Well, I'll tell you what I saw in the subreddit stakeout as I was hanging out in Oklahoma City tonight. The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout. I was hanging out in the OKC, and it's a small town, 700,000 people. What's that?
Bright? You had the sun. It was bright. You had the sunglasses on. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no clouds there either. It's just like Phoenix, man. I literally, like yesterday, I drove 8 hours through the state of Arizona. Right, I drove down to Globe, up to Show Low, through Payson, back down, like this big loop, right? I don't know if any of that means anything to you. But it was an 8-hour trip. It was like about a 400-mile trip. I didn't see one fucking cloud yesterday. It was so depressing. It's so depressing.
That's depressing, is it? We've been just waiting for the clouds to go away down here for ages.
God, I would kill to see a cloud. I'd kill just to be like driving. It's like, ooh, this could be a storm up ahead. Options. I have to think. I have to survive. I have to adapt. I have to overcome. None of that's just like, oh, it's hot. I have to shield my eyes. So I was hanging out in Oklahoma City, and I always ask this question now. It's a thing I'm doing this season in the Subred Steakhouse. I'm asking the opposing fan base what they think of the Suns' new uniforms. And so far it's been positive, and the trend continued tonight in Oklahoma City. Somebody said, beautiful, honestly. They're the best in the league alongside the Clippers City uniforms. And I don't remember the Clippers City uniforms, but I think the Clippers City uniforms are pretty fucking ugly. So maybe they were talking shit. They're the ones that say Clips, right?
Yeah, they're horrible.
Damn. They're being facetious probably there in Oklahoma City. Those bastards. Somebody said, I got played. Somebody said, Nurk must have a negative vertical. Nurk washed. Chet already played Nurk off the floor, beyond cooked. So they knew it. They knew. Oh, shit. It's Lissy. What's up, Lissy? There was Matt. There goes Matt. He's at the game. He's like our resident. Yeah, he's like, how dare you talk shit about Nurk? Somebody said, Yuta would be a great fit for our team, just saying. To which somebody responded, would love him. He brings good vibes and threes. Every team that we play against will see Yuta Watanabe. And I've noticed that this is another trend I've seen in the subreddit. Anyone who sees Yuta is like, damn, dude, he'd be perfect on our team. And we got him. All right, hold on, he's coming back. Matthew! What's up, guy?
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, cool.
Is that a picture of Josh Okogie up there behind you? Tell him to take that
that's
shit
Bradley
down.
and Dare. Oh, shit.
Oh, man, dude. Actually, I can hear you on my phone, so I think everybody heard that.
Good.
What's going on? Oh, is the pot almost over? Yeah,
I'm subbing at steak and...
Oh, my
We're
bad.
live. We're live.
We're live. Gavin's actually
We're live, man.
Oh, yeah. That's my thing, though.
So what was it like, Matthew? I know that you were kind of our resident OKC stan. I saw that you were at the game beforehand, taking a bunch of videos, and it wasn't of Suns. It was of all the OKC guys and Chet Holmgren and such. So
yeah, I love those guys. I love the Thunder.
Yeah,
this guy out of here.
Welcome to the Thunder Jam Session podcast.
Oh,
Matthew even wore like Thunder Blue.
Yeah, it's because, where the media room is, it's right by the Thunder locker room, too. So them coming out, I like taking those videos, but I had to check out Chet and SGA. I don't get to see them ever. And Giddy, I had to record some videos. I like those guys. I think the Suns could have won tonight, right? If we had Booker, we didn't turn the ball over. So we're a better team than them, so I can still like them. We lost tonight, but we're still a better team eventually, I feel like. So just let me like the Thunder. Let me enjoy my Thunder game.
Okay. You're a Thunder cunt. Was that loud enough, or did all the little kids on the court behind you hear that?
Yeah, they're all being dismissed now. They're taking off.
So what are your takeaways from the game?
It's weird because going into the fourth, you feel like it's like they have it, right? I think it's a lot of the same where everyone's looking at the fourth quarter. I'm sure you talked about the 2 for 21 shooting. But
no, not at all. Not once.
It's like it kept bringing.
I'm struggling
it kept bringing
with
it up
Bill.
to KD and Frank Vogel, But KD says he's like go with the flow kind of guy, where he's just like either it's a make or miss league. If they go in, we look good. If they don't go in, we look bad. It looked really bad, obviously. But my takeaways basically are I think it's just the turnovers still. I think the Suns go on runs where they're up by like 10 points. They look great. It's like, oh, here they are. And then they turn the ball like twice. And then here come the Thunder. So they're so close to getting over that hump. I feel like in these games where they can be up by 20. And they can just maybe take over these games. But I think the bench did great too. So I think the bench did really good in the first half. Obviously the fourth quarter. Someone posted a picture of the Olympic team from '93 and said if this would be the Suns team if they played only the 3 quarters and not the fourth quarter. It's just so true right now. So, but yeah, that just covers it basically, I feel like, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was telling Gav, remember last year how the team would just get boat raced in the first quarter and you would just be miserable the whole game? At least this year we get 3 quarters of like enjoyment before we just go into a manic depression.
Yeah.
I mean, you ever seen that movie St. Elmo's Fire? We're like Demi Moore just in the room with all the windows open and we're freezing cold and we're just shivering. I figured you haven't.
Never seen the movie though.
Oh yeah, check it out. Go home tonight and watch St. Elmo's Fire. It only came out in like 1986. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It's funny being at the game too because you just feel it from the crowd. You feel like they have the game, but then just it gets worse and worse. So I don't know. Do you have any other questions? I think Eubanks was really good tonight. I was watching some of the pod while they were in between interviews. I saw you talk about Eubanks, but I thought Eubanks is the best game he had. KD to talk about how they're trying to get him the ball more in the paint, which is fucking great because the guy can finish. He has some moves down there, so we need to see more of that. And he talked about how he's better against Chet, obviously, than Nurk. I guess we definitely saw that. But yeah, I think Eubanks was my jam star of the game. If you didn't get there yet,
we haven't got there yet.
I'm gonna take off because I'm gonna take Dave home. And
real quick,
cry with my sourdough bread. What's up?
Real quick.
What am I talking about right now?
What?
What did Vogel say about Beal?
What did what?
Vogel say about Beal and his back tightness?
Oh, so he tweaked it again. So he tweaked his back again. And you obviously saw he was kind of walking around like an old man.
Yeah.
There, I think the whole game he looked like very uncomfortable. But he said he tweaked it again, and Katie did say, "Good thing we have 2 days off, so hopefully he can rest it." But it just seems like one of those things that's going to linger still. And they did ask him about Booker. Booker said that, or Vogel said about Booker that we don't know yet about Wednesday, but hopefully he returns. But it's still up in the air. Nothing seems very positive right now. Very, very sad times over here at the arena. Put Brits that are here.
Well, thanks for reporting in. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Subreddit Stakeout. The Suns Jam Session.
Subreddit bitch out.
There you go. Coming live from the arena. The last thing I got from Subreddit, someone said, "Oh my God, no! Giddy got crossed over by Ted Cruz. We cannot let Grayson fucking Allen be doing that on us. We need to get our shit together on defense. Fuck that guy." Everyone hates Grayson Allen, and that makes Subreddit so much fun. It makes it so much fun. All right, Jam Star time.
Drew Eubanks.
Jamsters, a reminder: if you're watching along live or another time, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, hit the little bell notification. And if you haven't, go over to the Aussie Suns Fan Podcast page on YouTube and subscribe and give them a thumbs up on all their videos too. Don't be a dick to my guest. Gavin's taking some time out of his day, which is a Monday, mind you, over there in Australia to be on the podcast. So the least you could do is go over to his channel and subscribe. Jeez. Who do you think you are?
That would be lovely. That would be lovely. And do you know, I did have to, before we do get to Jamstar, I do have to say something. Every time you invite me on this show, it seems like I'm heading to New Zealand or in New Zealand. Because I think the last 2 episodes I was in New Zealand, one in a hotel with Matthew, and then once in,
whoa.
Yeah, I think it was
not actually in the hotel together.
No, not in
okay,
hotel.
That's what it sounds like.
And then the next one was your 500th episode. I was in the airport.
Yes.
And when I finish here, I'm going inside, getting changed, and going to the airport to fly to New Zealand again. So
why do you keep going to New Zealand for?
Work.
Yeah, right. You got hoes in different area codes. Daddy.
Of course I do. Look at me.
You the man. All right, well, who are you giving your jam star to, Gavin?
I am giving my jam star to Drew Eubanks for this game. I thought he was fantastic today. And I honestly hope to see that they do start driving some more minutes his way in matchups, particularly matchups like this one. So we got next Minnesota. He might play extra minutes anyway, given the fact they got the Twin Towers.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they'll navigate that, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But I agree with you. I think it's Drew Eubanks, Matthew as well. He was the one guy who really had some change of pace in this one. You could see Kevin Durant developing rapport with him, and the way that he was finding him and he was cutting in, and like that's something, file that away, Jamsters, because that's something that we will see in the future, and that comfortability that and that chemistry. We talked about that. This team needs chemistry. Once Drew Eubanks came in, when they finally decided to bring him in the fourth quarter, it's like, oh, okay, we looked a little better, still look like shit. So taking a look at what some of the Jamsters are saying Espo's burner gives it to Obama, it appears. So that's cool. John Tran gives it to Eubanks. Eubanks from Michael Kolb as well. Michelle Obama, that is, from Espo's burner. SGA for Jamstar. No Sun deserves it from Jack M. Anybody else? Let's see. Drew Eubanks from John Tran. That's pretty much it. So, yeah, I mean, that's just the way it goes in Warriors shat upon, though we die, little resistance lives on. So next up for the Phoenix Suns, Wednesday, 7 p.m., we are playing the Minnesota Timberwolves. A team that might surprise some people. It's funny. You don't listen to the Bill Simmons podcast, do you?
I do. I always listen to the Bill Simmons podcast.
Really? Okay, so then, are you being facetious or for real?
No, religious. Yeah, no,
okay, cool.
It's one of my mains.
Okay, so here's what's funny about the Bill Simmons podcast. Last year, for the entire season, he shat on Minnesota. It was the dumbest trade ever. Why would you do that? All he did was give the Timberwolves fellatio for the past week on how it's unstoppable. Why? Because Minnesota beat the Celtics. Right? They beat the Celtics, therefore they're the greatest team ever, and nobody could ever be better than Minnesota, and they're geniuses, and they're so smart. It's like Forrest Gump talking to his dead wife, Jen. He's like, and she's so smart. He's so smart, Jenny. That's what Bill Simmons sounds like when he's talking about.
I mean, can you not have a change of opinion?
It's correct to say it. It's just funny to see him flip flop. They're 6-2, third in the NBA or third in the Western Conference in record. They're first in the league in opposing points per game. They're first in the league in defensive rating, 17th in offensive rating. But this is a team that is going to give the Suns problems on Wednesday, I think, because
100%.
This team
they'll probably beat the fuck out of us, but
they still don't know who they are offensively. We've seen that in the fourth quarter. Is this a win or a loss, Gav?
I think it's a lot of it depends on whether Devin Booker plays. I can't believe how many times I've said that in this podcast, but it depends a lot on whether Devin Booker plays. But as it stands right now, in the form that the Phoenix Suns are in, I just can't see how, with the current squad, and as particularly if Beal saw too, how we get around this. Anthony Edwards is flying. This Minnesota Timberwolves franchise is flying. They're playing really, really well. I hate the oversell for the performance of Rudy Gobert so far. I don't see how he maintains that. I just don't think Rudy Gobert is that good, but that just might be me. But Minnesota is playing well, and you've got to give the credit to Ant Edwards. I think he's a really, really nice player. He's great to watch, and it'll be interesting to see what we throw at him defensively, particularly if we have those breakdowns and you've got Gobert rolling to the hoop and nobody covering off. And Cat always seems to hit about 15 threes every time he plays against us.
This is true. I mean, remember that game where Cat went for 40 and Ant went for 40 a couple years ago? I mean, they get hot against us. I agree with you. I don't think Rudy Gobert is a great player. I do think he's a great regular season player. And that's going to be the challenge. You know, you put him in the playoffs, you can play him right off the court, just like Nurk is going to get played off the court if we make the playoffs this year. Whoa, bad foreshadowing. But this could be a loss for the Suns, and this could be an 0-3 homestand. This team could be, 1-5 by the end of this at home, which is just abysmal and something that Matt Ishbia definitely can't like. So I'm actually going to go ahead and put my prediction and say that the Suns are going to lose this game because I just don't see it right now, and I hope that I'm wrong, and I hope I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm
going to put it down as a win only because we're going to do to Rudy Gobert what we did to Michael Porter Jr. in the playoffs a couple of seasons ago, and we're just going to put him out there on an island, one after the other, KD, Beal, and Book, because Book will be back and Beal's back will be fine. We're going to put Gobert on an island and make him try to defend these guys from the perimeter, and everybody else is going to go hide in the corners.
I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right. So one thing I do want to talk about before we get out of here, obviously, is the fact that you guys, the Aussie Suns Fan Podcast, is doing a Suns takeover over there in Australia. In fact, Boyd asked a little bit earlier, he says, Voida, if we pay for your flights, will you come to that watch party? And by we, I mean Gavin. If you guys want to fly me out to Australia for the watch party, I'll be there. That's a guarantee.
I just like... He always tries to spend my money.
But tell us about this watch party and when it is.
Yeah, so
it is.
Yeah, we've been working earlier. Well, it was probably last season. I had someone from the Suns reach out to me directly. They said that they were really impressed by the amount of engagement from social media that they get from Australia. So shout out to all us Australian fans for being engaged enough to catch the eye of the franchise, I guess. The new head of marketing within the Suns, I've been speaking to him probably for about 4 or 5 months now. He's continued to be impressed, and he said that Matt Ishbia came in and said he wanted more international engagement, get it done. So
Nice.
we've been working with them to create a watch party or watch parties down here in Australia, because we do have the fan base. So on the 2nd of December Australia time, I know the game's 1st of December for our American fans out there, but the Denver Nuggets game at Footprint, we will be doing a watch party in Melbourne. We have some giveaways that have been sent down by the Suns, so we'll have some special stuff going on there. As part of that, we're getting a signed Devin Booker basketball, so we're going to run a little bit of a competition down here, because it's not something that we generally get down here in Australia, all the way on the other side of the world. But it's just fantastic that a NBA franchise reached out to us and is engaging at this level, so all credit to the Suns. But if anyone is listening and is in Melbourne at around that time, please make sure you come out. And we're going to be there from the Sporting Globe in Richmond from 12 p.m.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't give a fuck. Wet bananas!
Want a smarter way to mop? Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, an all-in-one cleaning tool with a 360-degree swivel head that goes places a regular mop just can't. Mop smarter with the new Swiffer Power Mop.
What are the Hunger Games? What it do, flight crew?
FDB.
FTC. Flight team stand
Flight
up.
team sit down.
We got the Golden State Warriors versus the Minnesota Timberwolves.
The
Tim's got Edwards of Anthony, Cat,
Gobert.
Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert. And the rest are nobody.
Rest are nobody. It's the Warriors, Steph Chef,
Look at
Wardell,
Curry.
look at Curry. Clay, Draymond, Green, Wiggins of Andrew, GP2, Kamuja, Moody and Modus, Looney Tunes, Sharpie, that draft pick we got in the first round of 2023, Tracy, and the rest are nobody. This HD? That's a 722 right now. Draymond with that 3. By the way, I was on stream and I reacted to the scrap with Draymond Green and Mitchell. We're going to vow, even if future games, we're not going to just rage quit so we don't miss out on controversial situations. Curry with that step back. But I can't make all promises, you know what I'm saying? Because certain losses can and will piss me off. But Blood Channel should have that reaction somewhere on the tube. I feel like I've seen the Timberwolves a lot lately. Oh! Hold on, guys. Hold up now.
The numbers are a little unusual.
The little behind the back, slick pass.
It's been amazing. Averaging 30 a game.
Curry's averaging 30 a game this season. Love to hear it. Green Bulldogs. They want you to shoot that. And one! They finally called that out of like 1 out of 55 times. You got a 20-day contract play with the top of the key.
That was unselfish from Anthony Edwards. They tops it. That looked like a great training video right there. That's a sight to behold. Steph somehow got through the whole defense. He's got 11 already. He just kept going. Daniels, that's it. Play to Sharp. Domingo wanted the lob. He said, I'll just hit the jumper. Play for 3.
Play with a pull-up.
That could be a good sign. Klay Thompson. Domingo.
See, Mojo.
Al Anderson, any team would want him.
Got Cat.
He's super helpful off the bench. Always a quality.
Damn.
Anderson, slow ball all the way to the iron. That's Curry, tough runner.
Yo, they need to call those fouls, bro. Sharpie! With the steal, oh yeah, Curry Madman at the buzzer! Woohoo! Nigga! Nah! Yo! Bro! Sports, where is this at, bro? Y'all hate for that replay. Bro, that was the momentum play of the year right there. Yo, that was beautiful with the pump fake. Fundamentals, nigga. Michael Jordan could never. Let's go. Bro, that was beautiful. Sharpie with that top of the key. We got hair in my mouth. Let's go, GP2. Got somebody's uncle with the hook shot. Ah, I forgot CP3 in the lineup, my bad. Damn, Moonshire, you're 7'3". You can't get any blind like that no more. Fingernails, man. What the hell is that? Come on, man. Good outlet. Oh! I thought I was going to be packed in a damn front room. Was that a pass or a misled?
Wet bananas!
Woo! Yeah, you ain't done reacts, baby. That's my type of one-knee shot. Moody and Mooters? Ooh. Ooh, ankle breaker.
Wet bananas!
Damn, CP, you had me in the first half. I thought you were making those play. Has he scored a damn thing? Draymond! Call those fouls, ref. Y'all like Curry's kicks. What's them kicks talking about? Whoa! I like how bright they are. And one! She's talking about play. Bottoms. Bro got a 7'11" wingspan. Got top of the third.
Rudy Gobert.
Go Curry.
Daniels on the baseline, getting all the way in to lay it up and in. And see now, Anthony Edwards is making his teammates better.
Bro, up and down.
Same exact angle, bottoming the three.
Shoot!
Rudy Gobert!
Up and away! I love the push off by Edwards, by the way. No call, right? Bet. Gotta love it. Gotta love the favoritism. Damn.
Rudy Gobert! Wet bananas!
248 pounds and backed him off.
Yeah.
Anthony Towns. And now you're officially in trouble. Stephens been on 9 from distance. And Clay help out. He drops in the three.
Let's go, Clay.
You said Clay can come along for the ride. That would help tonight. Carl Anthony Towns scoring inside. They use their size really well.
Up and away!
They're ducking that down. Minnesota's won 5 in a row. Boston beat Denver.
Oh, shit.
Bottoms. I love those, Curry.
Edwards holds and my goodness.
Sharp.
I love those, Curry.
Edwards holds and my goodness.
Wet bonanza!
Sharpie. Damn it, girl.
Dawn Power Wash has 3 cleaning boosters not found in traditional dish soaps. It's more than soap. It's Power Wash.
Old Spice, you fucking bitches and hoes.
I don't appreciate Edwards doing that to our teammates, man.
Sarich in the basket. There's out of the game, and so
Why are they not playing Kenyon Martin, bro?
Bro, somebody guard this dude, somebody's uncle. Bro, what's good with the score, bro? Why are they just missing threes? Oh my goodness, man.
He knew he had Chris Paul on him. He wasn't going to see that contest. Now Anderson bringing that in. That was pretty good closeout. Charge is there, but Gobert is waiting on him.
Damn.
Rudy Gobert.
It's got to be the Klay Thompson quarter here.
Nice, Curry.
That was an awful pass, and because Gobert's catchphrase is everywhere, it worked. Kyle Anderson has just Chris Paul.
Damn, CP3, bro, you can't stop those?
Conley going to use that screen, look for Gobert rolling. Here comes McDaniels down the lane with a step around and finish. Jaden McDaniels has been good tonight. 13 points. Thought about that three, but he'll drive instead and get right to the rim.
Nice, Sharpie. Damn. Bro, what's good with the score?
To the Warriors.
You talking about Curry? Let's go!
He's been 5 of 13 on threes. Conley floated in from the baseline. Curry for 3.
Finally, they call a 3 foul on Curry, bro.
Wrapping in all 3 free throws. Moves to the shot clock at 7. Conley. In around Kuminga to put it up and in. It's just you're not able to take anything away. Edwards.
Damn, dog, you don't stop Edwards, bro, for one possession.
Moving at a different speed there.
Bro, Ticino Edwards, bro? The fuck? We're down by 10.
Edwards has been the closer. 11 in the quarter, make it 13. He's like, I'm the one. And Wojciechowski fired there. That's a nice pass from GP2.
Bro, Tracy plays literally 5 minutes a game. I don't even have hope no more for that Tracy dude. I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was gonna be like a mini Blake Griffin. Never mind. I mean, you can't really call him a bust. He's a second rounder.
Walker going all the way to the rim. Now Green. Potentially coming in the game, making something happen. Wojciechowski hits it.
Nice shot.
He's got 8 points in a minute.
Why do they take out the starters, bro? What is Steve Kerr doing sometimes, bro? People just be giving up sometimes. For what, dog? We're supposed to be on the road to a 70+ win season. Edwards at 33. Cat with 21 and 14. My King Curry with 38 points. He almost could have had 40. They were saying that it seemed like he was struggling. It wasn't like he's struggling at all. 11 of 25 is a nice shooting performance. With 3 assists and 5 rebounds. The rest of the Warriors players need to step it up. I've seen a weird stat line. I want to say a couple of days ago, apparently Curry has been the only Warriors player to score over 20 points. Warriors, y'all need to step it up. You cannot rely off Curry. All right, bro? Like Klay, he's been having some decent games, but it's crazy that Klay hasn't even scored even 20 above points. I thought he scored 20 a couple of times, but no. Klay would need you to average 25 a game at this point, bro. Wiggins, what the fuck are you doing? I just noticed how much you scored, bro. 6 points is not going to cut it. You need to do way better than this, bro. You got to do way better than this. This is not going to cut it, Wiggins. At this point, we demand 20, and we demand 20 from Klay and Wiggins, bro. No excuses. Moonja, we need you at 15 and higher. Looney Tunes or Green, y'all going to have to rotate scoring 10 and 15 plus. Something like that. Because if y'all not going to score at least 10 plus, y'all going to have to get at least 15 plus rebounds. Come on, bro. Looney Tunes, bro, I mean, maybe Looney Tunes got injured, maybe. He had only 19 minutes. That doesn't look normal. Hopefully Looney Tunes is all right. All right, let's check and see if there's any extra clips. Improvement reacts. Look at that already, man. It's not what I expected, but at least we're not rage quitting after regular season Warriors losses, man. So inspirational. All right, let's see what NBA Chaz is talking about. There's only one clip. Draymond got into it again? Green and Edwards exchange words. What you gonna do about it? Holy shit.
See, that can't happen, bro. What the fuck are they doing on offense?
And Edwards taking exception to Draymond Green.
Nah.
Green. And Edwards taking Edwards the interception and a foul.
Green and
Edwards the interception and a foul. And Edwards taking exception to Draymond Green.
Nah, bro. Edwards got completely bitched, and I hate to even say it to that man, bro. Cause you know we fucked with Edwards over here. You know what I'm saying? He's in the top 10 favorite players of Dud Rats, but bro, you got completely bitched, bro. Edwards, you can no longer act tough, hard, cocky no more, bro. Green is pushing 50. Bro, he pressed you. You guys are up by 22. So it's now you can sit up here and say you was trying to jeopardize your team. Nah, bro. Nah, bro, because look what Edwards is trying to do. For any of you little Timberwolves D-Riders and Glazers, nah, bro. Edwards tried to size up Green and chest size him up and everything. This is just a basic foul. You're attacking the paint, you going off. We're not going to just let you score 40 points. Hello? We're the top and #1 team in the NBA. You're not going to just be dropping 40 points like that. You're going to have to earn it. I don't know what other teams you're playing. It's not going to happen with the Warriors. That's why we are the top team in NBA history that have the fewer 40-point games allowed, especially at home. Go look up the stat. All right, so check it out.
Okay, buddy.
And then he tried to do this when Green's back was turned also. Let's not forget that. Green's back was literally turned.
Edwards taking exception to Draymond Green.
Bro, why is everybody in the NBA seems like they're picking on Draymond? Leave him alone, bro. He's literally innocent and comes and plays basketball and goes home to his family. Why is everybody out there just get Draymond all of a sudden?
Draymond's talking to the wrong guy.
Bro, Edwards is getting pressed. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Yo, W Mike Sue, whoever picked up this audio and shit. Edwards is getting pressed. Yo, Green is standing on business, nigga.
Edwards taking exception to Draymond Green. Draymond's talking to the wrong guy. You're not going to make him back down.
Bro, that's literally a small, that's like barely a foul, bro. In the early 2000s, that's not getting called. Bro, that happened to Iverson on 90% of the drives, bro. That's crazy.
You know it's always a pro.
All right, yo. That's going to cap it off. Warriors are going to bounce back and get on a 5-game winning streak. I smell it.
Life is messy.
What
Now
bananas?
there's 85% more Tide in every power pod.
What it do, Flight Crew?
FDB.
FTC. Flight Team stand up. We got the San Antonio Spurs versus the Miami Heat. The Heat got Butler and Jimmy, Hero Tyler, Robinson and Duncan, Lowry Cal, Abda Mayo, and the rest are nobody. The Spurs, Wet Bananas, the Vaseline dude, Johnson and Keldon, number 23, the assistant principal, Sohan, and the rest are nobodies. Check it out. So we gotta move this webcam over to the right. Take it back now, y'all.
Face
What the
Face
Josh Richardson for the Buckets.
Wet Bananas talking about the faster than Johnson Keldon.
Wet Bananas. Booker and Devin.
Wet Bananas! Yo, how do you defend this? Explain. Can anybody give me a detailed explanation on how do you guard this? I'm waiting. Da, da, da. There's no right answer.